Hi everyone. The learning objective today for the art lesson is I will use my drawing skills to draw an accurate image of a coiled snake or a python. So the word accurate is really important. And the only way to do that is to actually look really closely at the image on the slide. And the key words are coiled, tone, shadow and light source. Coiled is when you've got this situation where one part is underneath another, where it's actually overlapping. The second word, tone, is the darker areas of the snake's body, and the shadow is the part underneath the body of the animal, and the light source obviously is the lighter area of the body too. And the purpose of this task is I will use my tonal drawing skills to create an accurate image. It's really important I see accuracy in your drawing. Please submit this only on Show My Homework before or no later than Sunday. Any work sent by email will not be marked in future. Thank you ever so much for that. Okay, so here's a drawing I did earlier. You can see it's got a round head with a sort of flattened triangle for the mouth. It's got two parallel lines coming down, and the coil goes underneath the body of the actual animal. So there are three parts to this task. The shadows underneath the animal are really key. That's what makes it look three-dimensional. The body line are the parallel lines that go around the skeleton of the animal. But the most important part is the actual spine of the animal. That's the basic shape. That's the basic shape in order to create your coiled snake or python. So I've started one here to show you. We start with what looks like an S shape here. You can see I'm making it quite dark so you can see. So that's the S shape. But then it turns into the beginning of an 8, like so. So it goes round, down to the bottom like a teardrop, and then up into almost creating an 8. Then we come up and round to make a loop. And then at the end of the loop is a circle, which is the beginning of the snake's head. Then I've drawn what looks like a flattened end triangle or a hat, flattened hat like so, on the top of the face. And then I'm just going to draw some lines down to make the impression of the eyes there like so. And the mouth, if you look closely, the nostrils come down like so on the inside, and then the actual mouth itself is slightly narrow. I'm just going to rub that out so I think I've made that too wide. So just going to bring that in a little bit, and then it goes across and down and up. And then of course you've got this snake's tongue jutting out. So I've drawn that part, the spine of the animal first. So the next part is going to be drawing the parallel lines around the spine shape. So I'm going to try my best to keep the lines parallel. The neck part is quite narrow, and then as you come around the spine, come across, try and keep it about 1 centimetre wide from the actual spine, and then stop. And then you come across like so, around and stop, because that part is now going to go underneath the bottom part of the coil. So I'm just going to draw from this part of the body out. This is the inside of the animal, the inside, the animal's body shape. As long as you get the basic shaping, you can amend it and make it better afterwards. Just get the basic shaping first. Very big python. So now the tail comes underneath the body and out. I'm just going to draw the tail slightly longer so that it compensates the length of the width of the body, like so. So it's coming from underneath there Like so. So I'm just going to rub out those lines that I don't need. Because those lines are invisible because they're underneath the animal's body. So once you've amended, and I'm going to amend that part because that part's too narrow. Once you've amended your shape, you can now start adding some fine detail. So there's my basic shape. I've got the circle for the head, front part for the actual mouth. I've put the eyes in. There's the coil, and I've drawn the coil underneath the snake's body there, and the body comes on top, and it comes round to the bottom, all the way round. And now I'm going to start adding some detail. So I'm going to rub out the lines I don't need. Make sure it's nice and tidy. So if you look at the original artwork, you can see there's quite a lot of detail in the actual body of the snake. So I'm going to draw some of those patterns. So what looks like a flattened shape like so, I'm going to render them as I go along, like so. And there's a shadow here underneath the body here, so I'm just going to put that shadow in too, so it comes round. So if you look really closely at the image I've given you, you can then work out which parts are in shadow and which parts are in light, which we've got light on, the light source. Bring the eyes in. Those lines I don't need. So maybe bring that up a little bit. One thing about this drawing is you can make it totally unique to you. As long as you've got the coil and the accuracy of the shape, that will be fine. Just make sure you go really heavy with your outline, because that needs to stand really proud against the paper. Keep that spine really, really evident. I'm going to put these tension lines in as the body coils round. So I'm going to put some patterns on my snake. So come down the body. Don't worry if the patterns aren't symmetrical. It's not a problem. You can make your snake your own, your unique design. You can see in the original image there's some heart shapes. So maybe I'll put some of those in. I can see quite a lot of shading here, some tone here, so I'm going to add some tone here. Please keep looking at this image. It's really, really important you observe it closely. Some tension lines. Bring that tension line round where the snake sits on top of its own shape, its own body. Bring that spine round. So you're working from the top to the bottom, and then outline it really strong again. Put some more pattern on. Come down. And I'm going to make the shadow really strong where the body overlaps itself. So it shows real tone there. Pattern. Let's go down. You can see the light source on the top, but there's shading here in contrast. making that line really strong, and the tension lines. Now where the body's overlapped itself, I'm going to put more shadow on the underneath part of the snake. And on the inside, where the spine is. More patterns. And round. Strong movement. So if you're making a little error like that, you can just make that into part of the pattern. I'll put some tension lines in here. A bit like what we were doing with the owl, hatching and cross hatching maybe. You could add some to that. That'd be really cool. A bit more of a texture on the body, using some of the hatching and cross hatching. It also give the skin of the snake texture too, because snakes have scales on their skin. Just bring it round, more pattern. Now, the most important part, in order for this animal to look like it's actually three-dimensional, I'm just going to bring that in a little bit more, don't need that part, is the shadow that it's casting on the paper. So I'm going to show you what I mean by pointing out where the shadows are on my original drawing and where they are on this original drawing. So I've created shadow here because the animal is sitting and the light source is coming from this direction. Okay, so the light source is from here. So I'm just going to put a little sunshine so you can see where the light source is coming from. And so I'm going to cast a shadow on this side, and I'm going to give it to a value of about 4 or 6, so it doesn't overpower the outline of the snake. Make the outline of the snake slightly darker. Maybe a value of 10 to the outline of the snake. And then the last part of the shadow under here. I'm speeding up so that I don't spend a long time showing you what to do. I need you to spend a lot of time creating your amazing artworks. Show me what you're able to do in an hour. This drawing should take you about an hour. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you're able to do in that hour. And I want to see some beautiful, accurate snakes by Sunday. No later than Sunday, please. Well, good luck with that. So you're going to need shadows, the body outline, and obviously you start with the spine of the snake. Okay, so there are some of my original drawings. That's the one I've done today. Okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing your amazing work, and remember, please submit on Show My Homework only before or no later than Sunday. Looking forward to seeing what you're able to do.